This 2026 Masters Update live from Augusta is brought to you by Copper Rock, where the pros play on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
What music is this?
Are we looking through the hourglass right now? What are we doing?
Is this the beginning of a soap opera? Or is it just the poor man's, we didn't pay for the rights to the Masters music? Oh, yeah.
These are the days of our lives.
I get it. For commercial purposes, you get the Trashters version of the music.
This is not a tradition unlike any other. Nice try, though.
Look, it's just like people this week are making their own pimento cheese sandwiches. It's not the same if you're not there at the Masters.
Do that? Or is
Are you allowed?
some lawyer going to show up at your house? You can't make those.
Oh, I watched the Masters.
Cease and desist.
I watched the Masters this week, and I had an egg salad sandwich. That doesn't put you at Augusta.
Hopefully
right?
you didn't eat it in your car.
All right. Somebody who has enjoyed Augusta many, many, many times. He, of course, host of Real Golf Radio. He and Brian Taylor, BT, do a phenomenal job.
The best.
Bob Casper joining us on the program. Bob, how many of these trips have you taken to old Augusta?
Oh, my.
I'm making you do all math. Math on the air is not fun, but I just figured people already know the history that you have. But I to imagine how many times, I just want to go once.
Probably 35.
Wow. So cool.
Brian's been here 25, and this is our, 18th in the media center with the show.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well,
but you guys almost had me falling asleep with that music.
I know, right? If it doesn't have the real piano hook to it, it doesn't hit right. It doesn't hit the same way. But
no Jim Nance either. Sorry about that.
We're not paying the $1 million for those rights,
we can't
Bob.
afford
You
it
understand?
here. It's a low budget show.
No.
Oh my goodness. Well, we were bummed to see Tony not get into his first Masters since 2018, and his first major since 2017. He's been in every one of them since 2017. It's quite the run. Before we get into the people who are playing in this thing, when Tony didn't make it, is that an indicative thing of kind of where his game is going, or just kind of the way that last year went and some of the qualifiers they just don't always land the same way?
Well, he struggled last year, was very up and down, and finished out of the top 50 on the tour. And because that happened, if he would have got into the Tour Championship, which he's been in the Tour Championship just about every year, if he was able to do that and get in the Tour Championship, then, of course, he would be here in the Masters and exempt to play in every single major championship. So because he finished out of the top 50 and because he's outside the top 100 in the world, then he doesn't get into the Masters. And it'll be interesting to see which of the majors he's automatically exempt for, but I would think maybe not the U.S. Open or the Open Championship, probably the PGA Championship.
When you look at the field now, Rory McIlroy got his last year, and that was such a special moment. That monkey's off of his back. Who's that guy that has the pressure this year? Does that fall on anybody, or do you think that's not really a thing in this year's tournament?
Well, I think the pressure was the buildup of Rory needing to get the Masters for his fourth leg of the career Grand Slam, and he didn't get it till his 13th try. So 11th try as far as getting or playing for the career Grand Slam. Mm-hmm. So I think that was the big pressure. As far as the pressure for anybody else, I don't think it's sniffing being as close as Rory's was last year or the last 10 or 11 years. Now, having said that, you've got guys that have finished close, like Bryson, or Justin Rose, who's finished second 3 times. And Phil Mickelson was one of those guys that finished a second a bunch of times and then was able to get one. So there's not the pressure with anybody like that. And there are definitely some guys that could really get into the mix of this that are really good players.
We were talking about the odds-on favorites that Vegas will give you, and it's one thing to say, hey, these guys are playing really well. It's a combo of this person's playing well. They're also kind of getting hot now. They've strung together a lot of great tournaments. Who are the people that you look at? Because I was thinking about a guy like Cam Young, for example, who is playing phenomenal golf right now, and that's a name that I think could make that type of a move. But the Masters does funny things to people, and maybe that's not a tournament that he does particularly well at. I don't know. Who are the people that you look at and you go, they tend to play well here, and they're lining up their golf game really well, because all those things have to come together on a special weekend like this?
Well, Justin Rose played in 21 Masters, and he's had 3 runner-up finishes, and he lost to Rory last year in the playoff. He's lost in 2 playoffs here. So I think if you're going to look at an older set guy, a guy that's been around here, has matured in his play around this golf course and understands the golf course, I would say Justin Rose would be a guy that you got to look at. Cameron Young definitely hits it long, hits a high draw. All those things promote really good play or the ability to score on this golf course. So he's definitely one that I would look at, Cameron Young. Maybe Bryson, by virtue of his play last year and just missing out and wanting to come back and play well. And he's coming off of 2 wins on LIV at the last 2 weeks that they've played. Mm-hmm. Matthew Fitzpatrick, who won just a few weeks ago, another good player that has a chance. Xander Schauffele, another one that has 2 majors now already. He's got the Open Championship and the PGA Championship, but this would be the 3rd leg of the Career Grand Slam where he'd go on and win this one and win the Masters. Of course, Scotty. Let me see who else.
Did you say? Did you say Alberg? Alberg yet? Because that's a guy that I keep thinking is going to do well. Yeah.
That's Brian Taylor's pick on Real Golf Radio. He's thinking Ludwig Oberg, and he's played twice here and he's finished 2nd and 7th. Yeah. So he's got a runner up in a top 10. So there, you got to look at him because this is another golf course that he can play extremely well. High draw to straight ball hitter, really, really good player, and looks like things don't faze him at all. Let me see. If you have to pick a rookie, a guy that could win in his first try, you got to look at Chris Gotterup, who's already won twice here on the PGA Tour this year. So he's a great player. I think those are some of the ones that I look at. There's about 5 or 6 or 7 that I just told you there.
You mentioned Chris Gotterup, and I'm looking at I don't know if you have any data on this, if you've looked in the past, but how important is it how often do you see the Masters winner and you look at what they did previous to the Masters that year? Did they win some events earlier? How important is it to come into the Masters hot? Does that even matter?
It does. Yeah, it does. Scotty, the interesting thing about Scotty is Scotty Scheffler, the last time he played was the Players' Championship, and then he was supposed to play at Houston a few weeks ago, and his wife was going to have their baby, and so he stayed home, and he's been at home practicing for the last 3 weeks, and he hasn't played since, like I said, the Players' Championship, but in listening to him in his press conferences today, he feels, and his big thing is he prepares. He doesn't focus on winning, but he prepares when he plays to go and compete at the best that he can do. And I think he will compete again this week and be right there in the top 10 or top 5.
Are there guys who play really, really well, and then this course just doesn't? Is there a certain style of play? Is what I want to ask about this particular course, because you could be really, really good, maybe over here or over there, but when you come into the Masters, whose type of game is the best for this course?
Well, you got to be able to hit the ball high, which a guy like Scotty or Rory or Cameron Young or Oberg or there's a lot of guys on tour that hit the ball high and work it both directions, right to left, left to right. Okay, and not work it hard right to left or hard right left to right, but just have it falling that direction one way or the other. off the tee. The tee balls on this golf course, a lot of them really play into a person's ability to hit it right to left off the tee, draw the ball. And length is always a huge factor here. So a guy that can hit it long and then draw it a little bit, hit fade shots going into greens, and a guy who's a pretty dang good putter will be a guy that can win here.
Is the weather supposed to hold up this weekend, Bob?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's nice and sunny today. It's going to be like 80s on the weekend,
nice.
On Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to be in the maybe high 60s, low 70s, low to mid 70s throughout the majority of the week.
Just making sure. I can't have my Sunday Masters weekend ruined by something that goes into a Monday. I always hate that. So I'm glad to hear
it's not going to.
Awesome.
It's not going to.
Bob Casper, he and Brian Taylor, of course, Real Golf Radio is where you can hear their insights, of course, every weekend right here on the KSL Sports Zone. Bob, we're going to chat with you more during the week, but, man, thanks for dipping in with us, and enjoy the egg salad sandwiches.
Oh, that's one of my favorite, and I put a little Tabasco on it, and it's really good.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Bob, thanks, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Take care, guys.
I didn't want to say it while Bob was on the air, but JJ doesn't like the egg salad sandwiches.
Just don't eat them in the car.
Just don't eat them in closed quarters.
Don't do that.